There we go. What's up, chat? Good evening. Good evening. How we doing? We're doing. Hi, Chris. You guys ready for some? You're just working? Aw, man. Sorry, you're stuck at work. You want some soda can opening ASMR? You ready? There you go. Wishing there was a replacement for the inshitified of social media, even though there isn't, right? Ah, it's good soda. Soda. Guys, look how good my mouth tracking is now. I fixed it. It's so good. Look at how good it is. Look at how good it looks. I can pucker. I always had cheek puff, and I can wiggle a little more, and it zooms in my cleavage. Well, you know, sometimes you need a boob shot. It looks great. Thank you. I worked really hard to fix it. Look how good it is. I didn't mean it, chat. Oh, here, I can do this. Whoop. I was really excited that I fixed it. Excuse me, it's been broken for a while. I just had to find the right settings that I borked and unborked them, basically. And we're using VBridger. And it's not lagging, which is great. I was really worried about it because usually I hardwire my phone to my PC for tracking. But I can't use VBridger if I do that because VBridger only works over Wi-Fi for some reason. So usually it lags really bad, but it's actually doing pretty good. I'm not really seeing a lot of lag. So that's cool. So, ooh, excuse me. Last time we left Fields of Mistria, we needed to get stuff we needed for a chicken coop. Because we need chickens, and I think our issue is wood, and we're really poor. And I don't think we have a lot of money right now because the new season just started. So I just bought a bunch of crops. We're broke. But that's all right. We'll get there. Oh, also, sometime maybe this week, I gotta play it first and check it out before I do it on stream. But I got reached out to by this company, by a couple companies recently, actually, to play a couple of games on stream. And I'm pretty excited. 7 stream streak, let's go! Try being as often as I can. Work is tendency to get stupid once I finally have downtime. Oh, you're okay. I appreciate anytime you can be here is awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. There's been some changes since you were here. I don't think you were in last stream, right, Chris? Well, it says you have a 7 stream streak. We've changed some things. The Discord changed. You was for a second. Oh, that's good. You kept your streak alive. But we've changed some stuff. Our community name is no longer the ChiiFett. We are now Sector 313. That is our community name now. It's feeding more into the lore. I saw you had chat in your cleavage and was like, interesting. Oh, yes. That's a new channel point redeem. It's random. So it'll either do in the boobs first or on the head first. But it's supposed to be random. But so far, boobs always wins. But it's redeemable twice per stream. And then we have our channel points have changed. They're no longer Wookiee cookies. They are now cyberonic batteries. We're leaning into the cyberpunk lore of my VTuber, which I haven't really ever talked about too much on stream yet because I'm still kind of fine-tuning it into what I want it to be. But trying to make my branding more cohesive and stuff is really helping me pay more attention to what my lore is about. So we're changing some things. It's been good. I have a lot of fun stuff in the works coming up soon. Yeah, I haven't really talked about it too much. But I'm working on changing my design to also align more with it. But essentially my character is more like her story takes place more in the future rather than the present, in like a cyberpunk style future, like dystopian cyberpunk stuff. And she's a programmer. We're a hacker and an inventor, right? So we like to build things and then we like to program things we build. And the community lore is that you guys, you're my strays that I've taken in. I'm your auntie. But you're my strays that I've taken in and made you part of the community. And together we, just try to get through this dystopian future. But I picture like Sector 313 is kind of like a slum situation, like maybe like in the shitty parts of what is it? The Republic City in Star Wars. Like when you get down into the lower levels, it's like kind of slummy, like a lot of bars and stuff like that. So I picture like that's kind of like what our sector is like, And so our new raid call is Sector 313 is rising up because we're all about being rebels and standing up for what's right and things like that. Slowly becoming a slumlord? No. I'm working to try to make things better. We're trying to make it better. Yeah, better. Sunday! Hello! Oh my gosh. I can't believe it either. Shouldn't you be sleeping? You just woke up? Oh. I guess I don't know your time zone. Did you take a nap? Or are you waking up? Is it morning? Yeah. Oh, Aussie time zone. Okay. So yeah, it's literally morning. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Oh, well, I hope you had a good sleep. I was just telling some lore because, you know, I don't really talk about my lore that much, like, ever. I should probably make a video about it. That'd probably be a good idea. And I'm working on doing some redesign of my character. Sleep was pretty chill. I fell asleep listening to Yu-Gi-Oh facts. Oh, interesting. I never really got into Yu-Gi-Oh. It was like kind of popular. I was older when Yu-Gi-Oh got popular, so I kind of like missed the bandwagon. Same thing with Pokemon. There's a lot of people my age that love Pokemon, but I never really got into it when I was a kid. So I was like Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball Z era. I think Digimon was on TV in the US before Pokemon was. I remember buying bootleg cards since there was a ton of those in my country. Pokemon 2, nice. I do remember when Yu-Gi-Oh was on TV. I watched like bits and pieces of it. Ooh, excuse me, I burped. My bad. But yeah, you know the Digimon anime. I watched Tamers and Frontiers. Ooh, I watched like a few when I was a kid. I remember watching a little bit of it, but I didn't get like super into it. So I watched a few episodes here and there. But sometimes I think about going back and watching some of those older animes. There's also a lot I haven't seen. Like, I've never seen Hunter x Hunter. I get flack for that one all the time. Everyone gives me shit when I tell them I've never seen Hunter x Hunter. Oh. Right now, my boyfriend and I have been working our way through One Piece. I'm like, I don't know. We're like episode 1030 something or something. You're genuinely impressed? Wait, with what? Me neither, but I've also have not seen the classics, so I gotcha. I was a young adult when Pokemon came out, but I watched so much of it, I run around singing the theme song when I'm playing Power World. My anime journey started with Robotech, Speed Racer, and Voltron. Oh yeah, Speed Racer and Voltron. I remember those. I feel like I somehow dodged and weaved my way around not becoming a Pokemon, a Yu-Gi-Oh, or a Digimon fan during my childhood. Apparently that didn't send... Oh, okay. Oh, I see. That's what you were genuinely impressed about. My OG anime was Sailor Moon. That's what really propelled me into anime. I love Sailor Moon. It also is what got me into drawing and being creative. Sailor Moon was everything for me. I wish I was into Sailor Moon, or I wish I was in a drawing still. Sadly, I do not draw like I used to. Oh, my eyes itchy. I get it. Okay. You draw? I mean, you do nail art, so someone does nail tech, I assume, so I guess that makes sense. Yeah, I actually, Sunday, when I was in college, before I got my computer programming degree, I studied animation for 2 years. I've been drawing for years. I did become a Star Wars fan, though, so I'd say that's pretty sick. Yeah, we love Star Wars. I don't draw like I used to. Honestly, art school, like being in college, doing art, killed art for me a little bit. So I don't draw very often anymore. I'm working on it. I do have a pretty nice drawing tablet for my PC. It does take time to get back into it, yeah. Don't Don't feel bad, I don't either, and I have a master's degree in art. Oh! And I got a what's it called? An iPad. I got an Apple iPad with Procreate on it. So every once in a while I'll sketch up some stuff. Like right now I'm working on doing a bit of a redesign of my character. Mostly just her outfit is going to change. And so I did this little sketch that I sent to a friend. I'll show you guys it. I didn't draw the body. The body is a base that I got off, I don't know, it was like a free thing on DeviantArt or something. Free base. But I sketched the outfit over top of the base. So, you know, just a little something I'm working on. Just a little something I'm working on. I'm having a hard time deciding between if I want her to wear pants or if I want her to... I didn't know you had this much artistic side of you. Oh, thank you. I try. I'm really no good. I appreciate that. I'm trying to decide if I want her to have like some cool pants or if she should wear shorts with stockings. I can't decide which one I want to do. I think if I do stockings, I want her to have like holes and stuff in them. I think that would be cool. I think Procreate is great for 99% of digital arts out there. I got rid of Adobe a few years ago. Currently use Clip Studio, but most of its functions aren't daily drawing functions. Yeah, I have Clip Studio on my PC that I use when I hook up my drawing tablet. And then I have because I have an XP pen, like wear and tear holes. Yeah. I have an XP pen tablet, which I really like. And then I also have the iPad that has Procreate. So I have both. I just need to use them more. But like, or like my little guy here, our little robot friend, Hubba, right here, he does the text to speech point redeem. I drew him. I made him. I want to commission him to be made by somebody else who can draw him better. But I have to have money, so I gotta have some money first. But he's like a robot plushy bunny. So like he's a plushie, but like his face is a screen. Like a TV screen. And then his arms are like springs. Like his arms and legs are like springs. But he's like a stuffed robot. I don't know how to explain it. I just thought it was a cool concept. Drink something, you got it. But his name is Hubba, H4B4. The community named him Hubba. He's a cute little guy. Let's see. How long have you been streaming for? A long time. It's embarrassing how long I've been streaming for how small of a following I have. But I've taken a lot of breaks. For me, streaming is really more of like a hobby, I guess. That's how I felt. Um, I'm taking it more serious probably now than I ever have before. But I've been streaming for, gosh, I think it says down in my panels when I made affiliate. Let me look. Let me look down below. Yeah, so my first stream was in 2021. Oh, my affiliate anniversary is coming up in March. So I started streaming February 18th of 2021, and I got affiliate a month later. And then I've been kind of streaming on and off for the last 5 years. Like, I took like an 8-month break last year. Because there was just a lot going on in my real life. So I took a break from streaming for a while. So it's been a long time. I've been around for a long time. I'm actually I moderate for a couple of pretty well-known people. One YouTuber and one Twitch streamer. And so yeah, I'm getting a little bit more serious about it. Like, I've been trying to make sure I'm consistent on posting shorts the last few weeks. And my goals right now is I want to try to hit 1,000 this year on Twitch. I think we can do it. Trying to hit 1,000 followers. And then I'm also trying to hit 1,000 on YouTube. And that's a pretty steep goal on YouTube. Get them goals going. Like, yay, thank you. I'm trying. And I start a new job next week, so my schedule is going to change again. That's fair, breaks. Whether it's for personal reasons or to avoid burnout. Oh, yeah. I'm starting a new job next week, so I'll be able to... I'm going to try to stream 4 days a week, I think. So right now I do Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday. But I think I'm going to switch to Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then either Saturday or Sunday, depending on what I got going on. I think that's what I want to do. Because my new job, I don't have to work really late like I had to at the salon. So I'll be able to stream after dinner if I want, whenever I want, pretty much. And then, I'll still have time every other day to do shorts and editing and posting and whatnots. I think it'll be good. I'm excited. So lots of fun stuff coming up. Lots of fun stuff. Yeah. Yeah. And sometime this week, I might do a bonus stream because I'm not working this week. But I got reached out to by this developer to play this really cute game that I want to show you guys. So I might do that tomorrow, actually. I'm going to check it out. I'm going to play it a little bit first and see how it goes. Make sure I know what I'm doing a little bit. But it's this really cute game, and it's called Mistria Ravine. And it's about cats. And it's like a city builder with cats. It looks really cute. But they reached out to me and asked me if I'd want to play on stream. Oh, I have a friend, somebody who has it on their wish list. Ooh, I'm gonna have to tell her that I'm gonna play it. I haven't either. It's called Mistria Ravine, and you're basically cats, and it has something to do with magic. There's like some lore, and you have to like blow up ravines and create a river for like your crops and stuff and grow your little cat town. And the buildings look like cat towers and stuff. It looks cute. It looks really cute. So I'm gonna check that out this week with you guys. I want to like play a little bit first, just so I kind of have an idea of how it works, and then I'll play it on stream. It comes out March 4th, but they said there's no embargo or anything, so I guess I can just start playing now. So we'll do that. I think I'm gonna do that tomorrow. Fields, do you do anything since I last saw it? It was last year when you upgraded the general store. Ah, so we fixed the bridge on the beach, so it opened up a new section of the beach. Gonna go breakfast now, but have fun with Fields of Mistria. That game has been gathering dust in my backlogs, but I've been meaning to pick it up once out there. It's really, they have an update coming up in the end of this month. It's exciting. Yay! Thanks for the lurky, Sunday. Enjoy your breakfast. I hope it's nom 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 yummy. Let's see. Fields of Mistria. So we did the general store. We built a barn. I don't know if you saw the barn with the cows. And we bred them, and now we're waiting for them to have a baby. It takes like a few days. And then we fixed the bridge on the beach, so it opened up like a new part of the beach we can go to and fish from. And then we just got this new quest that's like, oh, we need to fill more of the food rations, blah, blah, blah. So, except we need chicken eggs, and I don't have any chickens. So now we're working on gathering what we need to build a chicken coop. Oh shoot, I don't think I wanted to hit continue. Let's go back to the main menu. I just want to make sure I'm loading the right save, because I think I saved in the middle of the day, but I can't remember. Oh, I guess it was in the morning. And we're in fall now. So everything's this pretty orange color, because we're in fall. So everything's this like pretty orange hue because we're in fall. Yeah. What is this rock doing here? We'll call the cows out because they like to come outside. And we pet the cows. Milk. I need to save the milk because we need to make cheese. Be here but in and out for a bit. No worries. Thanks, Chris. Oh, a baby. Yes. We bred them. It says they got the little stork mark, which means it worked. And so now we just have to wait a couple days, and then we'll have a BB. I guess. Apparently that's how it works. So we are doing this quest. Deposit required materials in donation box outside of the inn. Then talk to Adeline. So we need 10 cheese and 12 eggs. And we don't have any chickens. So we're collecting stuff for a chicken coop. We also got the bag upgrade last time. So we have another 2 rows of inventory, which is phenomenal. And we're just trucking right along here. Where should I'm gonna put this milk in here. I don't know what I did with the cheese. What did I do with the cheese? Wait, I had some cheese already. What did I do with it? Did I already stick it in the bin? Okay, I don't know what I did with the cheese I had. Did I put it in the chest in here? Nope. I swear I had cheese already. Did I turn them in? No. Well, I don't know what I did with it, but I had it at one point. Alright. We still have to go buy more crops too, but we're like really low on funds at the moment. So we need to make sure we have... Wait, I don't think I have that bug yet. Do have that one. Dang it. We're still missing like a moth or something for summer. Or for fall, I mean. Okay, let me double check what I need. We put the coop down here. I'm pretty sure wood is like the biggest thing. We already spent the money, so we already have it. 75 wood, we have 6. Oh no. I'm gonna put the stone back because I don't need to be holding onto that. We need lots of wood. We're gonna have to go chop down some trees around town again. What other quests do I have? Coral, pudding, caterpillar. A pike? I think those are a year-round fish, maybe? I think we have to go to a pond, though, for those. Munchin', 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 munchin'. Don't mind me, I'm just cutting down these trees. I need to catch a pike, too. Come on, fishy. Come get it. Dang it. I didn't click fast enough. I suck. I was itching my eye. A lamprey. A shad. I don't know one of those yet. Come back, fish. Smallmouth bass. I can't remember if pikes are in ponds or rivers. Come here, fishy. I'm gonna get him. Pike? Salmon. Dang it. Is that a caterpillar or is that a stupid inchworm? Stupid inchworm. I need a caterpillar. I think I'm gonna have to check the wiki and see when there's caterpillars. I have a feeling that they are only a spring bug. Because I don't remember seeing any in the summertime either. Magic! Let's go this way. Do some pond fishing. Maybe we'll get a pike. I'm pretty sure that pikes are like a lake fish. Because we have those here in Michigan, and they're in lakes. A rainbow trout! Ooh! He's pretty. Oh man, I wish I could reach that. A koi fish? Oh, cute. I can't reach those guys. They're too far away. We're also still missing like some kind of moth or butterfly for fall. For the bugs. A killifish. Dang, it's a good thing I did this. I'm getting a ton of museum fish that I don't have. A striped bass. I think it's because I spend most of my fishing in the river, and if that's the case, that's where I'm going to catch a pike, because I've caught them before. Oh, nope, this way. Another killifish. Killy, killy, killy. Nothing over here. Should we throw some money in the well? Wildberry jam? Thank you. Alright, we need... We're almost to 75. I think it was 75 we needed. Alright. Bone. Fish. A gobby. Oh, I know stinking gobby. Where are you? Garlic. I love all the colors. Oh, garlic fell out of the tree. Garlic doesn't grow on trees. Pretty sure garlic's like a tuber. Which means it grows in the ground. Yep. Come here, fish. Where'd he go? Fishy, fishy. He's gone. There's one. Hey, we got one. It is a river fish. And we have another request on the board. For iron. Some iron ore. Okay. Alright, let's head back home. We got the wood we need. I'm gonna put it in here. Let's do it in the morning. We'll build it in the morning. It's too late right now. We gotta put the cows away. I'm coming, cows. You guys go night-night. Alright, and then we need that. I'm gonna sell one of these. I can sell this gobby. I need that. I can sell one of these. I need that. I need that. I can sell that. Sell this salmon. Can keep the bass for cat food. I think that's the one that makes cat treats. Can sell that. We need the shad, and we can sell the lamprey. Okay. Oh, thank you, kitty. Oh, a double. Nice. Alright. And we slept. Time for sleep. I slept. Slept time. Yay, money. I don't know how much chickens cost, but we're gonna need to buy a couple chickens. Mary's birthday at Saturday Market. Ooh, I think I had a quest for somebody on Saturday Market. I love this button that I discovered. I just like, if I already have it in there, it just goes bloop and puts it in the chest. Let me check my quests. Oh, maybe I already did that one. I must have done it already. Yeah. We definitely need to go to the mines. Alright, do we have a baby yet? Nope. Not yet. Pet, pet, pet. Alright, 2 more milks. What chest did I put those in? Not in there. Oh, I think I put them in here because it's like the farm chest. Yeah. So two milks makes a cheese. And we need 10 cheese, so we need 20 milks. That's a lot of milk, bro. Look at the cute leaves falling. It looks so cute. I wish I remembered what all I had planted here. I think this is rice. And then we got cranberries, sweet potatoes, and something else. So these are like little bushes. It's kind of cute. Oh, broccoli. That was the other one. There's broccoli. Alright, let's go build the coop. Build. What should we call our coop? Wait, what did we call the barn again? I forgot. It was something Star Wars related, I'm pretty sure. I think we can change it later. I'm just gonna call it Coop right now because I can't remember. The chicken coop. Let's see, what did we name the barn? Jabba the Barn. That's right. We need a name for the chicken coop. Rename building. Yes. Coop de Fett. Yeah, I like that. Alright. Boom. We're gonna need 2 chicken names as well. Because we're gonna get 2 chickens. I feel like we should name one Cluck Vader. Or Darth Cluck. Darth Cluck would make more sense. Dig spot. Ooh, mystery artifact. Let's go. Alright, we gotta go to Hayden's place and see how much chickens are. Django and Boba. Aww. $1,000 gold each? Holy shit. We need 2 grand for chickens. Okay, well. That's not happening right now. Oh my gosh, I can't believe how expensive it is for chickens. We got $600. We are not rich. Oh, garlic. Where are you? I already have that one. Ooh, a fishing spot. Ooh, there's also a dive spot over there. Two sturgeon, that was it? I got a river seal! That's cool. Dig spot. I gotta turn all these fish in that I got. Plus I got that artifact. Donate. Ooh, we got a hat and a chest. Nice. It must have been a fish one that we completed. Oh, I think it was this one, this multi-season fish. Yep, it had to have been because we haven't completed any other ones in here. Nice. We're 55% done with the bugs, which is crazy. We're doing pretty good with the bugs. Alright, what do we get for our loot? Damn cranberry seeds. I want no stinking cranberry seeds. Hat. Fishing hat. Alright, who was I supposed to give this fish to? Oh, it's for Ulrich. Is he here? Everyone's probably at the market. I forgot already that it's Saturday market. Where's Ulrich? Is this Ulrich? Is that his back? No, that's Hemlock. The black hair threw me off. There he is. Turn in. Wow, thanks, Chi. This pike is one tough-looking fish. I know they say the brain isn't a muscle, but if I think too hard, it definitely feels like I'm giving it a good workout. Don't think too hard, bro. It's alright, Ulrich. We don't expect you to be smart. We just expect you to be pretty. They're all thinking about eating. Speaking of which, I need a pudding. Darcy's got this apricot bread where it's sweet and a little sour. So good. That's cool. Do you have pudding? You do have pudding. Do you have recipe for pudding? Hot chocolate, latte, tea, juice, green tea, lemon, cake, pie, ice cream, mocha, spicy cheddar biscuit. That's not a dessert. Iced coffee, jasmine tea. Nope. No pudding recipe. I guess we'll just have to buy a pudding. $200. Dang. So expensive. Who wanted this? Quest for pudding. You. I mean, I used to eat Red Lobster's biscuits like they were dessert. I love their biscuits. I have a recipe to make them at home. It's so easy. Aw, what a simply splendid pudding. Thank you, Chi. You wouldn't believe what passed as a pudding just a few hundred years ago. We truly live in modern times. You're welcome. Don't say I never did anything for you. I would have rather have had the pudding recipe, though, instead of buying a pudding. What do you guys got for recipes today? Apple pie. Red snapper sushi. There's going to be an ad break in about 1 minute. Just so you guys know. Sweet sesame balls. That sounds good. I want some in real life. Yum. They always have those at, like, Chinese buffets. Request for acorns? No problem. That's easy peasy. I can do that right now. I'm still missing a foraging item too. I don't know what it is, but I think it looked like a stick or something. Oh, I never finished watering. What the heck? I'm crazy. Oh, I can harvest these. Oh, that was so fast. Nice. Wait, I had a request for sweet potatoes. Was it only one? Yeah, it was only one. Okay. So I'm going to keep one. And I need to give one. I'm going to sell this snail and this butterfly and this bug and this garlic. And these sturgeons and this. And I have 5 free cranberries. I got most of those from watering. That's crazy. Alright, I needed 1, 2, 3 acorns. Alright, so now I can go turn in these 2 quests. It was... What's the little girl? Dell? It was her that wanted the acorns. Where is she? She's not here. They're in the inn. Why are you thinking about dirt? Silly goose. Alright. You wanted the acorns. Acorns! Thanks, Chi. When my woodland army is ready to march, I'll be sure to tell them that you're a friend. What you guys are doing here? I don't see why we can't have pumpkin pie for dinner. Grown-ups are so unreasonable. Seriously. Pumpkin is a vegetable. You guys are crazy. They're all mowing down. Alright, and then who wanted the sweet potato? Sweet potato. It's what's her name that I can't remember right now? You. Nora, that's what her name is. The shopkeeper's wife. My requested sweet potato. Thanks, Chi. Can't wait to get this roasting. Me too. Is that a caterpillar or an inchworm? Stupid inchworm. Stupid inchworms are pissing me off. Alright. So we need pumpkins. And we need onions. Fast growing fall flower can be harvested once. I haven't bought any of the flowers yet, I don't think. I'll just do 3 and 3 of the flowers. I don't know that I really need them for anything. I just want to make sure that I grow and ship them. Or in case I need to turn them in at the museum or whatever. Alright, I'm gonna put the pumpkins here. And I'll put the flowers over here for now. Okay. Keep this sweet potato. Well, we get a sweet potato recipe in the morning, probably. A rosemary! That was the other thing I needed. Let's go. Thanks, kitty. Dang, I wonder why I was having such a hard time finding that. I, can't find one myself. The cat had to find it for me. Let's put the cows away. Okay, I think tomorrow we should have a baby cow. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna take this rosemary to the museum because we'll get another reward. Because it was the last foraging item I need for fall. What are you? Woo! Alright, let's see what we get. Chocolate cake! Let's go. And we got a shit ton of money. And a couch. And probably a recipe for said couch. Yep. I'll put this couch in my house. Let's catch this fish. Come here, fish. I'm gonna get him. Got him. Another pike. Blackberries. Fog orchid. Alright, it's supposed to storm tomorrow, so it'll be a good day for us to go to the mines. Ooh, where should we put our couch? Rotate. Can't put it there. Put it here. I'll put it right there for now. We're gonna rearrange stuff, I think. First I gotta sleep though. I'll rearrange it in the morning. Alright, we made some more money. Let's go. We can go buy 1 chicken, or we can finish buying the crops we need. I think I'm gonna go buy the rest of the crops. We had a cow! Look at it! We gotta name him! Oh, his name is Kuro? Oh, I actually kind of like that. Look at he's so cute! He's a boy. What should we name him? Kuro is actually really cute. I think we'll stick with it. Cock-a-doodle-doo. Alright. I'm gonna move this and this. In this chest. I'm gonna put this chest by this other chest. Wait, there's my cheeses I was looking for. Okay. I'm gonna put those cheeses in a different chest. Oh, this cake can go in here too, and this sugar. Alright. Then I'm gonna move my table. And I'm gonna put my table over here. Put the chair here. Ooh, my ear itches. One sec. It's like hair. My hair was like stuck under my earphone, tickling my ear or something. Alright, and then move this box. Pick up the couch. Alright, and then we'll put the rug here. And we'll put the couch here. And we'll put this chest here. And this table. And go here. Hi, Wombat. There we go. That's a little more cozy. Dig it. Oh, hello. Hey, Chi. Do you have a minute? Sure. I wanted to tell you that the Harvest Festival is coming up. Oh, there's going to be all sorts of fun things to do. There'll be a big community feast for everyone to enjoy. Hayden will have a pumpkin patch set up. And there will even be a dance if there's anyone you want to ask. But, as you can imagine, there's a lot to do in preparation. How can I help? That's what you're really here for. Let's not beat around the bush, Raina. The Harvest Festival is held at the time of year because it coincides with the queenberry harvest. I'm not surprised you haven't heard of them. They only grow wild in Mistria and only for a short time. Then they just up and disappear, just like breath of spring. It's like magic. But they're really tasty. All the desserts for the festival are traditionally made using them. If you could help to collect some queenberries over the next few days, that would be a huge help. There will even be prizes for whoever collects the most. Thanks, Chi. With your help, I know this will be the best harvest ever. Okay. Sent email to the artist for the character rep sheet to commission. Fingers crossed. That's cool. Sweet potato recipe. Sweet potatoes from your last shipment are proving popular. Please accept this recipe for roasted sweet potato. Alright. I'll take it. I can harvest the broccoli. These must be the berries she was talking about. Queenberry. Alright, we're going to sell some broccoli. And I'll keep 2. And put them in my chest. I'm gonna pet the kitty. And let me go pet the cows. And feed the cows. We have 3 cows now. I don't want to call them out in the rain. Hi, cows. And we have the little baby. Meh. Aw. Give you guys some food. There you go. There you go. That's an inchworm. You're not fooling me this time, bucko. I'm gonna stick these down here. I'm gonna put these cheese in here. Alright. Now, I was gonna go to the mines. You know what? I really should get more crops first. Let's do that first. So I got pumpkins, so I still need onions. Ooh. Also money. Yes. Pomegranate juice. That's crazy, yo. She's always asking for the wildest stuff, I swear. Alright, I can't buy them all! Dang. I can only buy 5. We'll come back for that. Let's just head to the mines. To the mines! We yearn for the mines. There's a leaf bug. Right. Ow! Ow! Why can't I hit it? Come on. There we go. Jeez, that was annoying. Hey, I found the ladder. statue with an altar. Make an offering. I don't have any coral. I also need some coral for a request. I don't know how I get them. A water fly. Oh, I'm a slime. Oh, what the heck? My hotkeys aren't working. There we go. Also, it was supposed to do that for me. I wonder why I didn't do it. One sec. I just want to check something. Maybe I didn't save it. Where is it? Slime. Yeah, I didn't do it. Interesting. I wonder why it didn't work. Oh well. It just doesn't, I guess. She just don't work. Oh. Hi, Courtney. It's me. I'm slime. Don't hit me, rock guy. Got him. So wiggly jiggly. Yeah, I'm slimy. Slime bun. I wish I had 3 coral to give you, statue. Got him. Ow, too close. Ow! Just die already! Jeez! How are you today, Courtney? Wait, did you get your new computer today? Did you, huh? Yay! How much do you love it? That's so exciting. I'm on it right now, playing Overwatch and Bongo Cat and watching stream no problem. Yay! That's exciting. I'm so happy for you. Why do you keep facing that way? I'm not facing you that way. I gotta find the ladder. Also, that looks like a secret tunnel. Here it is. Tide lettuce. I don't have that yet. Oh. How do I pick up coral? crit, bitch. It just kind of breaks and then I can't pick it up. Ah! Some seaweed. Ah, no, he got me. You jerk. Bug. Alright, I guess we should probably go back. I don't know. I don't know how I collect coral. Do I just have to hope it drops, I'm assuming? Somebody asked me for some coral, and I just don't know how to get it. I know I get it from the mines. Yes, more rewards. Let's go. Spring potted tree. That's cute. Gazpacho. I'm just picking up stuff I can sell or whatever on my way. Oh, there was a rosemary there the whole time. I'm running. I'm running. Trying to make it. Oh, I got caught on the fence. Oh no. Sell stuff. Sleep stuff. Alright. Oh yeah, I might from the broccolis. Should light the fire so it's brighter in here. Put this gazpacho. Tide lettuce. Used in cooking. Alright. I gotta give, I think it was 4 to somebody. I'm gonna put this tree in my house. Because why not? It's cute. Steamed broccoli. Valor dropped off your shipment of broccoli with us. I thought you might like this recipe for steamed broccoli. Thanks again. Okay. put this in the barn. We back. Hold on, I think I have to go here now and go here so that my hotkeys will work again. There we go. We back. Pets. You get pets. You get pets. And everyone can come outside. I don't know if this mushroom's good for anything, but it says it's tasty. Ooh, we have cranberries to harvest now. Oh, wait, I probably need that sweet potato for the museum. Do I? I do. Alright. I'll also need a cranberry for the museum. Do I need a broccoli for the museum? Probably, right? Yeah, I do. I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting that I have to take them to the museum. I think I might have enough for the onions now, too. Unfortunately, the onions are going to take precedence over the chickens. For now. Because they will keep growing. Like, I can harvest them more than once, and I really need to get them in the ground. So first crops, then chickens. That's priority. A bass. I wish I'd known that. I just like sold one, I think. See, we got him from the lake fishing. Dang it, I can only buy 8. Oh, I need $40 more. I want 9. I missed. A shad. Oh, stupid grass. I'm gonna go, ooh, dig spot. We're gonna go over here to the ponds. Come this way, fish. Do it. Wait, is that a butterfly I don't have yet? Come here. Damn it. Wait, what did I catch? Oh, I caught a frog. Nope. Not what I'm looking for. Trout. Also not what I'm looking for. No, where are you guys going? I just got here. Please come over here. You guys are stinky. Just a couple stinky guys. Is it? No, it's a snakehead. This one's over by the shore now. Yes, got one. Got one. Apples. Money. Yay, money. Alright, who wanted this? Was, what's his name? Nope, that's the sister. Where's he at? At the museum. I also need to find Dell. Where's she at? Oh, I was just over by her. Dang it. I just walked past her. Bug. Oh no, they're making their getaway. Dang it. Should have stayed in town, let them come to me. Wait, Dell, I have your thing. Gee, you're the best. Legend of Dell, the adventure begins. Yeah, sure. And then... That's right. Is he still at the museum? Oh, no. He's in town now. Gee, I really appreciate this. This friend of mine has selflessly sent me several valuable research books I needed for my own studies. If I can return the favor with a fish, then so be it. Okay. Whatever you say, bro. Oh, wait, where did I get that gold? I have enough now. Alright. I can't remember if I bought wheat or not. I don't think I did. I think the regrown ones we have are cranberries and rice. Weed? Yes, I can't grow the weed. I'm pretty sure this is rice. It kind of looks like wheat though, doesn't it? Like, what did I miss in the update? Damn. Don't worry, I haven't missed anything yet because the update's not till 2 weeks. Dang, that was lucky. You! What are you? Finally! A monarch! Oh my god. I've been waiting to find this other bug I didn't have. I'm gonna run to the museum after I water this to turn that in. Oh, let me let these guys in first. Look at you guys sleeping. I think I have time to run there and back. Look at them, the cute little cow family. The little fowl family. All right. Heck yeah. What, a pumpkin. Okay, I got those in the ground. Oh, I think those are the two I'm gonna grow that are growing right now. So that's all good. Sweet. Beekeeper boots. Money. Money and a coffee. Hayden. Really taking to farming, Chi. Keep up the good work. Thanks, Hayden. I love you. Yes, it do be getting late time. I'm just gonna sell all this stuff because I really need money. The yearning, the slow burn. What did Kitty give me? Hazelnuts. Alright, we sleep. Yep, I still don't know who I'm gonna romance for sure, but Hayden's definitely at the top of the list. Hey, we can get 2 chickens. And then we'll have 2 gold once we get 2 chickens. New reward available in the reward chest next to the request board. Looks like a book. I gotta do a Google and find out about the caterpillar quest because I'm starting to think there's just no caterpillars in fall. I have yet to see one. Fields of Mistria Wiki. Caterpillar. Type of bug that can only be found in the overworld during the whole day in spring. Well, there are sunny, wind, rainy, or rain or rainy. Caterpillars can also be bought from Balor's wagon. Oh, good to know. Thanks for your fresh shipment of cranberries. Shout out the recipe for cranberry juice. Okay. Nice. What you doing up in my crops there, leaf bug? Alright guys, we're gonna need names for the chickens. I forgot they already have a Darth move, so I don't really want to do a Darth Cluck, because... Five, 6, 7, 8. Bug. Alright, let's go tend to the cows. Hello, kids. Whoops. Wrong button. Meh. Little baby cow. Alright, we're not selling this milk. You guys can come outside. We're almost halfway there with the milk to make more cheese. Oh no, I didn't mean to break that. Son of a bitch. Alright, we're all watered. I think maybe I should just plant this stuff. The cranberries and the onions and the rice will keep producing. I'll save this one cranberry for another day. Then I think we'll go to the mines. I like how it makes the muddy footprint noises when you walk through the the watered crops. Oh yeah, what day is that thing? Is that today? Nope, it's tomorrow. Whew! Also, I think I missed somebody's birthday. I need to go back and look. Dig spot. Bees. We're going to the mines because there's still a bunch of stuff I need from the coral caverns. Like I need an artifact that I've only found there once so far. Maybe I just need to go back to the beginning. Maybe I need to go back to level 1. Not level 1. Level 20. I don't want to though. Come on, guy. Whoa, what happened to him? A puddle spider? Cool. Maybe he fell off. Ooh. What are you? A sea scarab. That's new. My turn. Sure been seeing a lot of those snails all of a sudden. Ow! That's not fair! Ow! Mystery artifact. See, I thought I would get coral from breaking coral. I do sometimes. Okay. It must be just more rare than I thought. A monster wing. That's new. Bro, I need you to aim at me better. Got him. I don't know how, but I did. I have 2 coral now. I think I need like 3 or something. Man. Ornament iron node. Okay. Still need a ladder. Hey. Perfect sapphire. Nice. He tried to poke me in my booty hole. Ow. That was nice. Got him. Oh, I didn't mean to go down. Damn it. It's alright. Guess we're just speed running. Ow. I gotta do this. Running low on stamina. There's a bunch of coral. There's gonna be an ad in about 1 minute. Alright, I need a tide stone. Which I haven't seen one since the one I got. Woo! Oh. Do I just have to go like flip the switch? Sick. Cool. We made it to level 30. Oh god, we're gonna pass out. We're not gonna make it home. Dang, I wish I had one of those coffees with me. I don't think I'm gonna make it. My poor cows are outside. No. gonna make it. No. Dang it. Too tired to continue. No, my inventory was full of stuff. Harvest Festival Day. No, rip. Yeah. I overslept. Earth shroom. Meow. Hi. Today's the Harvest Festival. I thought I'd pop by and take any queen berries that you collected. There you go. Thanks, Chi. I'd better dash. Looking forward to seeing you at the festival. Don't worry, I'll be there to be told that I don't win. Alright, we can harvest. And this is the other flower we need for the museum. These are probably worth more if I actually turn them into rice, huh? I'll keep those on me. Oh, I do have another recipe to learn. Whoops. Gotta do this. Gotta do this. Alright. Now, I think I can sell you. Yes. Sell you. Everything else I will keep. Oh, I found 2 of these. Dang, I'm gonna sell one. Fuck it, it's probably worth a ton of money. Ad break's over. Welcome back, y'all. That can go in here. Crafting recipes. Well, let me sell one and take one to the museum. Okay. I know, you're mad. I know. Don't be mad, I love you. It's okay. Why don't you guys go inside today? So that I don't forget you again. Alright, I just want to dash off to the museum real quick. Then we'll water and then we'll do the festival crap. I just want to get this stuff submitted to the museum before I forget. Dang, look at all the stuff I got. I need one of these. For what's her name? That's the other flower we're growing. Alright, bet. More cake. Woo. Oh, we got like a new style of bed. You get the recipe too? Yep. Cute. Worry about crafting things way later. I feel like when I get to the point where I'm gonna learn all the recipes and stuff, that'll be like late game stuff. Like that's the stuff that's the shit you do like when you're waiting for new content updates to come out, you know? Alright, we got a water. Boy, I don't know if I want to replace my bed. My bed's cute. I'm gonna sell these for money. Fuck it. I'm gonna sell them. Fuck it. Kind of hoping that sprinklers are a thing in this game at some point. I guess I haven't checked the crafting menu to see if I can make them. Or maybe just learn magic that like instantly waters all my crops, because that would be sick. Alright. Alright, let's go. I don't know if I was supposed to do anything else for the festival. She didn't say anything about like submitting crops or anything, so. The decorations are all really pretty though. Welcome one and all to the Harvest Festival. Now, before we get to stuffing our faces, all the gathered queen berries have been added up and we're ready to announce the winners. Without further ado, in third place, Maple. I won! How much queenly authority does third place get me? It means you get an extra large slice of pie, dear. Yay! And in second place, oh man, the fuck? I had like 30. And finally, in first place, Ellen. Haha, most excellent queenberry treats for all. Let's all congratulate our winners, without whom this Harvest Festival wouldn't be possible. Aw, thanks guys. Happy Harvest Festival, everyone. Word. A centerpiece and an arch. That's cool. Autumn Scarecrow. Cornucopia. Berry dress. Berry hat. Berry crown. I kind of want the scarecrow. Wait, is there a scarecrow for every season? In a suit. Recipes. Buying the scarecrow. Wow, look at all this. What a delicious looking harvest festival feast. Grab a plate? Yeah. Woohoo! Congrats on second place, Chi. Be sure to grab a plate at the table and enjoy your hard work. Oh, I already did. The Eastern Road dig sites seem to turn up Caldosian artifacts. They share similarities with Aldarian artifacts, but feature more filigree and silver accents. Oh, okay. Why are you talking about that at the festival? Did you know there are some insects that only feed on one kind of a plant or fruit? Maybe one day there will be a special kind of bug that only likes queenberries. Whoa. What a delicious looking harvest feast. Oh. No, I already did that. Now this is what I call a festival. Plenty of free grub and good company. Ah, the Harvest Festival. The one day of the year when a fellow can ask for thirds and no one bats an eye. Or fourths. Not bad. Congrats on taking second place. Wow, he's been really nice to me now. Chi, here to pick a pumpkin, all grown by yours truly. I got some rare varieties and colors that you won't find anywhere else. I bet you do. I spent all my time gathering queenberries, so now I get a bigger slice of pie. But I could have spent the last couple of days taste testing for Raina and gotten to eat all the pie I wanted. If there are queenberries, do you think there are nightberries too? Sure. Second place, very commendable, Chi. Yeah, whatever you say. Chi, don't make the same mistake I did and fill up too fast on protein. Oh. I just realized that Ulrich is not a romanceable character. I wonder why. He's not married. I gotta talk to Eland about his second stomach technique for sweets. Sounds way powerful. Raina has always helped me out at the Harvest Festival kitchen from the time she was little. Now I get to help her out. Aww. Felicitations, Chi. A little advice from an old trencherman such as myself. Pick a spot at the table and don't let anyone budge you. What a great harvest this year. Nice work collecting those queenberries, Chi. Aw, thanks, Landon. That was nice. It's great that we have so much help in the kitchen this year. That'll make it easier for me to steal Josie away for a dance or two. Nice. Congrats, Chi. Can't thank you enough for picking so many berries. You made my time in the kitchen a lot more fun. Aw. That's nice. Who haven't I talked to yet? I think I talked to everybody. Pet the dog. Judging by Dosie's purple muzzle, queenberries are dog safe. Are you planning to ask anyone to dance, Chi? It's a perfect day for it. Nope. Congratulations on collecting all those berries. I assume that you, too, could feel their mysterious, latent magical properties. Come, Chi. Reveal to me the queenberry secrets. If you try enough of them, you get neat prizes. They taste good. I shouldn't like that. Forget I asked, Chi. Yeah. Wait, I gotta talk to you. Wow, Chi, you managed to collect so many berries despite being so busy. You deserve another award for your excellent time management skills. Yeah, where is it? Have you seen the pumpkin patch yet? Hayden's grown some pumpkins that are so colorful, or as colorful as any flower. Well done, Chi. Second place is quite the feat. Thank you. I need to actually talk to Nora. Nora. No, I want the sign. I want to talk to you. Happy Harvest Festival, Chi! I got lots of treats and goodies on sale to commemorate the day. Just don't take too long making your purchasing decisions. I'm planning to join in on the dancing shortly. Yeah, when does that go down? Do I get to watch everybody dance? They all gonna go to the inn and dance? What's happening? Nope, they're all going home. Why not? Are they all coming here to dance? I want to see. Nope, they're all just coming here to get shit-faced. Everyone's just coming here to get drunk. Alright, let's go home. Let's go home. We'll decorate our farm for fall. This is spring. I might go set this down at the mines, actually. That'd be kind of cool. We got our fall scarecrow. So cute! Whoa, double prizes. I got 2 cakes now. Oh shoot, I wanted to go to the mill. It's too late now. It's too late now. Cows are already inside. Right? Yes. Oh, I never went and bought chickens. I gotta do that. Oh no, don't sell those. I need those. Sell that. Alright, I guess I'll just go to sleep. Slip! Oh, we made a lot of money. Whoa! I need to check the coral quest and see if I needed 5 or 3. I can't remember. I have 4. Oh, thank goodness it's raining. Okay. I need 1 more coral. I still need a tide stone. So we're gonna go to the mines again today. Oh, I'm so happy I don't have to water anything today. Nothing else to harvest yet? Cool. I'll keep 2, I guess. Alright, let's also go to the mill and make rice. Because I bet it'll be worth more if we make it into rice. and sell it. What is this book? Mistria history book, a decorative book detailing several hundred years of Mistria's history. Oh, interesting. An apple? I could do that. Rice. Cool. 175. Alright. I'm gonna sell all this because I think I have a bag of rice already in my house. I don't know what the hell to do with this giant book. It's huge! Alright, I'm gonna go check on the cows. Murr. Murr. Meh. You guys probably need some food. There you go. Woo. I wonder if this will break anything if I plug it in. My battery's getting low on my phone. Nope, I think it's fine. I just wanted to charge, but I was worried it would break tracking stuff. Go away, inchworm. Okay, I think... I want to go... do I want to do that? I need to find the miner's axe. But that's going to be like in the first few levels somewhere. But I've had that quest for forever. And I should really try to find it. It'll be like an artifact, a dig spot. Oh my gosh, you guys are driving me crazy. Ace. Haha, sucker! Get wrecked! Alright, I don't see any dig spots. There's a dig spot up there. Scrap metal helmet. Nice. Nope. Sucker! Get wrecked! Come on. Stick spot down there. Come on, lantern guy. Dang it. It's like everything except the one I need. Come on, spit at me. Nope, not up there. No big spots. Uh-oh. No dig spots. Ow, I missed. Can't get over there. Whoa. Minecart. Alright. One more time. Just to see. Nope. No dig spots. Alright, I'll come back another day. Another day. one. That's not gonna help me. That won't help us at all. Oh, I forgot to drop this off there. Oh well. Put the minecart back at the mines too. For like decoration. Oh, I'm trying to put the copper away. Copper! Alright. Sleep. I think we'll do one more day. One more day. One more day. Dang! Look how much money we got from doing the rice. That's crazy. Ooh, money. We can go buy our chickens for sure now. We just made bank. Ooh, it's Raina's birthday. She'd probably like some kind of food. Oh, thank you. I like head pats. Meow. Let's give Raina this gazpacho. I'm gonna give it to her. I feel like she would like food. Look at the little pumpkins. They're so cute. Oh, I can finally harvest these flowers. We gotta take the flowers to the museum. More cranberries. No. Dang, next year if we have a ton of money, we're just gonna have a whole field of freaking rice. I'm gonna keep one, sell one, and take one to the museum. I should probably just plant these, yeah. They take 9 days, so 12, 11, 10, no, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So we might get like 2 or 3 harvests out of them. Yeah, might as well, right? Bug it. Alright. We're gonna let the cows out. Oh, the little baby growed up. Aw, you're so cute all grown up. Look at you guys. Cute little family. One here. I'm gonna take one. Wait. Did you guys eat yet? Yeah, you already ate. Alright. Gotta go find Raina. I'm assuming she's probably at the inn. Because she's always at the inn. She's not here. Where is she? She is at the doctor's office. Give. You remember it was my birthday? Aw, thank you, Chi. You're welcome. Happy birthday. Goodbye. Fly-by-night birthday. A salmon and a horseradish. Okay, I think I have a horseradish. I'll need a salmon though. Last time one of you guys was a salmon. Bingo! Oh, I also need an apple for Balor. I forgot. Horseradish apple, horseradish apple, horseradish apple. Well, I need to check Balor's cart for a... Check Balor's cart for a caterpillar. Alright. What was that? I needed an apple and a horseradish. Horseradish? I only have one apple? Dang, okay. Oh, I didn't plant any trees yet. That's something I gotta do. I gotta go buy some trees. We gotta buy chickens. We have so much to do. Look at these leaf bugs. They're taking over. At least he's still there. Ah, what a perfect apple. Well done, Chi. I believe it will take the starring roll on a plate of apple honey curry. Oh, that sounds good. Can I have that recipe? Oh, check for caterpillar. Nope, no caterpillar. Alright, and then I need to find... Yeah, it was Tarithia. She was at the inn just now. Which makes sense because it's Friday and everybody's gonna go to the inn because it's Friday night at the inn. Ah, these must be the ingredients I requested. Thank you. Here's my recipe for horseradish salmon. It's a classic fall dish. Cool. Thanks. Right. Alright, we're gonna go around this way. here. And turn on this flower to get this reward. Ooh, a flooring. Spring flooring. I don't know what this one piece of flooring is going to do for me. But sure. Or does it do my whole floor? Because that would be sick. Also, let me go to the mines and drop off these decorations I want to put there. I just want to do some decorating, you know? Put this minecart out here, can I? I can't? That's lame. Can I put it in here? I can't decorate in here? That's no fun. Boo! I wanted to decorate the mines with the mine stuff. Lame. Well, I'm just going to set it in a chest for now, and then eventually when we have our own blacksmith set up at our house, we'll put it there as a decoration. That makes sense. I meant to go around the other way and go by Hayden's. Oh well. Alright, I'll put this stuff in here. And there. One here. I'm gonna sell the rest of these. Put this clay in here. Let's go buy some chickens. Mrrr. Cow says more. Alright. Adoption. Chickens. Let's get a spotted one. And we will call her... Let's have an Ahsoka chicken. And we will get... Let's get a white one. Boy. And we will call you... We need another Star Wars name. um... I'll just call him Obi for now. Excellent. Let's go say hi to Henrietta. Henrietta cocks her head at you quizzically. Can she help you with something? No, I just wanted to say hi. What is this music? There we go. Let's put you guys night night. Yeah, let's go check on the chickies. I can tuck this in there. Look at you guys. I can pick them up. Oh my gosh, you're a little peeper. Look at you. Oh my god, you're so cute. Look at you guys. You're adorable. You're so cute. Look at you. Peep, 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 peep. You know. We gotta get, I have 500 essence. What the fuck? I haven't spent my essence in a while. Let's do that real quick. What do we got going on here? So, you finished clearing away the marks left behind by the earthquake. Well done. I'm glad to see things in order. Ah, yes. I don't care. Farming. Nope, not yet. Fishing? Yeah. Swimming into a fish school will drop half its contained items without spending stamina. Swimming into a fish school? Dang, I didn't know I could swim into one. Catching a fish will sometimes drop double the amount. Bet. Uncommon or rare fish will become more common. Bet. Treasure boxes will become more likely. Okay. That's cool. Farming. Animals that have been pet and fed for the day will sometimes drop shiny beads the next day in addition. Okay. The craft time for all animal feed is reduced by 10 minutes. Sure. Newly bought or born animals will start at 1 heart level. Oh, that's cool. Oh, I wish I had done that before I bought the chickens. Damn it. Heart-shaped treats sold by Hayden will have a 10% price. Let's go. That's great. I think I can do... Oh, I can do these. Additional dig site will appear daily on the eastern road. Digging up peat, sod, or clay increases your chances of finding an uncommon or rare artifact next time. Okay. That seems good. Okay, that one's really good. Cool. Sick. Next time, worry about blacksmithing. Cool, we maxed out 2 more skills for the level we're at. Alright, how's this floor work? Oh, I apply. Oh! Wow, that's so much nicer. I like that a lot better. I'm going to sell this flooring. Because why not? Oh no, I think I have some of these in the other chests. There we go. Meow. Alright. We sleep. Got a whole lot of money today. Saturday market already. Oh, this new flooring is so much nicer in here. It's so bright. Alright, chat. Oh, it's time to find someone to raid. Oh, I wonder if he's still alive. Let's see. Let's see who's live still, chat. Oh, excuse me. Sniz. I sneezed. Red is still live? Holy cow. Let's go raid Red. I can't believe he's still playing Overwatch right now. He's been playing for like all day. He's probably gonna end soon to go play actually, shouldn't he already be playing WoW? He's supposed to be raiding tonight. Goofy. All right, chat. We're going to say hi to Red. Thanks so much for hanging out. I might do a random afternoon stream tomorrow to show off this game. It looks really fun and cute. We'll see. We'll see. I have to do some stuff in the morning, so we'll see what time I get home. But we're going to hang out with Red. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thanks for all the love and support today. I appreciate you. I'm glad we finally got our chickens. Now we just gotta get eggs. And I'll catch you guys later. Wave. Wave. My button's not working. My hotkeys have been breaking today. There we go. I don't know why my hotkeys have been broken. They're so broken. So broken. Goodbye. Get the fuck out. I love you.